So I wanted to speak a little bit about alignment today. What does it mean to be in alignment? And how does being in alignment correspond with the beingness? Because of course the beingness is always in alignment, right? Who we are beyond our conditioning is always in alignment. And yet there is a process of integrating our humanness into that realization. And that process of integrating our humanness into the realization of being is an ongoing process. In fact, maybe it's a life journey. It's a complete life journey. And one of the most important things in that life journey is to learn when we are in alignment with ourselves and when we're not in alignment with ourselves. And the greatest indicator of that is going to be your body. Your body will let you know if you're attuned to yourself and you're listening to yourself. Your body will let you know when you are being true to yourself and when you're not being true to yourself. Your nervous system will let you know when you're being true to yourself and when you're not being true to yourself. So when I speak about alignment, in many respects I'm speaking about being conscious of your nervous system, being conscious of the messages that your body is giving you. I'm really learning to tell the truth. To tell the truth. You know, maybe one of the biggest spiritual practices is to learn to tell the truth. And that isn't always easy because telling the truth, you know, can get us it can get us into trouble. It can get us into trouble. It can get us excluded. It can get us removed. And yet, when we don't tell the truth, when we cover up, when we fawn, when we don't show others who we truly are, then all of that on some level is abandoning ourselves. All of that on some level is not aligning with who we truly are. So this journey for me is fascinating. The journey of being, recognizing divine being, which is always pure, which is always complete, which is always as it is, and then aligning ourselves on the level of our humanness. This really is where the whole spiritual journey is. The whole spiritual adventure is in this. And actually I think one without the other leaves something incomplete, because if we're just trying to get to a place where we're always aligned, then that's also unlikely to happen. So we need to recognize both pure being and how to align our humanness within that recognition. Nice having you on my walk with me this morning. In many ways, aligning with who we are is a simple thing, and yet because we've been so conditioned out of it, it becomes a difficult thing. So many of us, maybe in our relationships or in our work or when we were developing, It's almost like we had to become something other than what we are. I mean, very few people have the support and the encouragement to just be who they are. So because we haven't had that, most of us haven't had that, then encouraging ourselves, aligning with ourselves, attuning with ourselves, championing ourselves, being true to ourselves, all of these things become priorities. And it's not easy, right? It's not easy because, you know, we're living in a world of untruths. We're living in a world where very few people tell the truth. We're living in a world where telling the truth can have severe consequences. And yet, is there any more a severe consequence than losing who we are, than abandoning ourselves? So nice, some kids are coming by, they're canoeing past me. I think you can hear them. I mean, this is pretty idyllic. That's sweet, isn't it? Hey, hey! Very sweet. Sometimes I wonder with, kids who are brought up, in the inner city, who never see nature, who are never really in safe environments, how their nervous system gets wired up. And how it's no real surprise that, a life of crime or a life of being on the edge or a life of addiction or a life of imprisonment or an early life is the consequence of that. So, summary. Learn to be in alignment with yourself. Learn to trust yourself. Learn to recognize the signs when you're out of alignment. Learn to recognize when you're overstepping your boundaries or you're overstepping your limits or you're not speaking up for yourself or you're not taking care of your needs. Just notice it and take action. Notice it and take action. In many ways, it's almost like becoming a really good parent to yourself. Like, what would a really good parent do in that situation? And the more you can do this, and the more you can get a feeling for what it's like to be attuned to yourself, to be in congruence with yourself, to be in alignment with yourself, then the more natural it will become for you to follow that. And what I've seen over a period of time of getting better at doing this is that we'll lose some people, but we'll gain people who love us for who we are rather than who they think we are. In fact, the people who will get close to us will be people who we can really trust, who just want us to be ourselves, and also we just want them to be themselves. We don't want a kind of carbon copy of anybody. And in this way, it's almost like our confidence increases, our trust increases, and our ability to be who we are increases. And I think it was Joseph Campbell who said, the privilege of a lifetime is to be who you are. And unless we're in alignment with ourselves, we cannot be who we are. So I hope this video encourages you to live in alignment with who you truly are, with all the consequences that that brings, with all the challenges that brings. You know, I said to somebody the other day that sometimes we don't really know where we're at with somebody until we have some kind of conflict with them. And it may bring up conflict, but every time you move through a conflict, every time you move through a situation and you're true to yourself, then something will really grow inside you. Thank you for listening.